Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to tell you about the latest from Lacuna Coil, live from the Apocalypse, out June 25th on Century Media Records. This album has 16 tracks, 63 minutes in length, and is going to be available in both CD and DVD format. Now, what to expect from this release? Well, if you attended the live stream back in September of 2020, you know exactly what to expect from it, because this album is that recording, just now being immortalized for eternity, if you will. Now, there's some caveats with this performance, so if you were not part of that live stream, you're perhaps not aware of them, but I think they're really important in order to define the boundaries of what you're going to get out of this live recording. One of those caveats is that they played Black Anima in its entirety. Now, they didn't play it in an order from the first to the last song, but they played every single track on that record, and they played some bonus tracks as well. So it's a very deep and very thought out set list that you're going to get here, one perhaps that you'll never see again in a live setting from Lacuna Coil. So from that perspective, right away, you have something different, you have something unique, something that really sets the album apart. I think the other main caveat of this record is the fact that there was no live audience during this live stream. It was just the band and the cameras. So that chemistry, that warmth, that connection, that symbiosis that happens between fans and band in a live recording that really jumps off when you're listening to a live album, it's not there. It's completely gone. It was just the band. That's it. They're performing live, but there's nobody there to bounce off of. So it takes a different style and it takes a different approach, and definitely becomes a different style of live record. This is a hybrid. That's the way I'm approaching it. When you listen to this album, you feel like it's a studio record because it's so clear. The mix is absolutely phenomenal. You can hear everything to perfection, but you also feel the raw emotion of the band performing the songs. All of that is still there, regardless if the band is playing in front of 1, 10, 100, nobody. When you perform live, there's always going to be a different force behind the songs. There's going to be different caveats. There's going to be different nuances within the tracks themselves, and then obviously from song to song within the set list. And I feel like that was still captured in this performance. So you almost get the best of both worlds, obviously depending on your angle, but I felt to me that the best of both worlds is there as a hybrid format, is a live studio recording. That's exactly what this album is all about. Now, the enjoyment that you're going to get out of it really depends on where you're coming from. If you're a fan of the band, but you're not necessarily a fan of live recordings because you always feel like something is missing, that the essence of the performance wasn't recorded, or there's a problem with the mix because the guitars are too loud, or the drums are too loud, or the vocals are too deep into the mix, you're not going to get those problems here because it has that studio aspect to it. If you like the connection between fans and band, the screaming, the chanting, the singing along, that side of things, you're going to be a little bit defrauded because it's not there. This was a live stream with no audience, so obviously you're not going to get that. So it really depends on where you're coming from in terms of the enjoyment that you're going to get out of it. To me, there's a lot of caveats, there's a lot of nuances to this record. Like I said, playing Black Anima in its entirety, it's one. The style and sound, having that hybrid approach, is the other. On those two things alone, this album is worth checking out because it's going to be that one-time performance that perhaps we'll never see again, playing not only the album in its entirety, but in the setting in which was recorded. I'm sure in the future, if they're going to do a live album, they're going to do a live album with the audience in front of them. So there's a lot of uniquenesses about this record, and those uniquenesses are enough, in my opinion, to really set it apart and allow it to be a welcome addition to the Lacuna Coil discography. Now, I'm not going to go into details into songs, but I just want to mention 3 tracks that I felt were outstanding throughout this performance: Apocalypse, Black Feathers, and Bad Things. These 3 tracks really stood out to me in the crowd. They had just so much strength, so much power, so much raw emotion built into how they were performed and how they come across, that really made them unique tracks within a unique performance all around. But the whole record is really interesting. It's a really interesting experience, and it's really nice to navigate through it. And one that you're going to get the exact same out of it if you listen to just the audio CD, or if you listen and watch the DVD. You're going to get pretty much the same out of both, because once again, there's no audience there, so there's no extra value from that perspective. This is it. This is Lacuna Coil. We're live from the Apocalypse, out June 25th on Century Media Records. Let me know your thoughts. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.